Well, Japhet Quitzon is Associate Fellow at the Southeast Asia Program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. He joins us on the show. Thanks very much, Japhet, for joining us. Both sides buckling down over the weekend. Hun Manet closing the border, Thailand imposing a curfew and also threatening to block fuel exports to Cambodia. So my question is, if Trump and the ASEAN chair Anwar Ibrahim could not stop the fighting, who or what will it take to bring both sides to the negotiating table?
It's very hard to imagine that they would enter negotiations anytime soon. I think even before the Trump phone call, Prime Minister Anutin mentioned that there is no appetite to negotiate unless it's in good faith, and it's only between the two countries, Cambodia and Thailand. While he mentioned he welcomed outside intervention, like with Prime Minister Anutin or President Trump, it was a bilateral issue. And due to significant nationalism on both sides being fanned by Hun Manet on the Cambodian side and Prime Minister Anutin on the Thai side, it's hard to imagine a situation where it would quickly return to a status quo. The lame duck government in the next 30 to 45 days until the next election is propped up by several other parties, smaller parties within the Thai parliament that are also strongly affiliated with the Thai military. Boom Chai Thai is only the third largest party, right? So it needs the confidence of these parties that are in close ties with the military, which will likely push it to continue this conflict. Cambodia will also not likely back down because Hun Sen, the Senate president, and Hun Manet's father has called out Thais as invaders and posing this as a matter of national survival. So the off-ramps are kind of murky at this point for me.
Japhet, I wonder how you're reading the contradiction between Mr. Trump's claim of a ceasefire and Anutin's outright denial. I mean, it seems that Mr. Anutin doesn't seem worried about irritating Washington, but what sort of fallout could that trigger?
Certainly, the biggest thing on his mind, and I'm sure on Hun Manet's mind as well, are the implications of invoking President Trump's wrath in the form of economic measures. Anything from tariffs could very much frighten their burgeoning economies. Both Cambodia and Thailand are plateauing economically and certainly would rely on good negotiations with the United States. And of course, in this administration, good relations with President Trump personally to negotiate favorable rates. In July, we already saw President Trump threatened to raise tariff rates and withdraw from tariff negotiations if the sides would not stop fighting. And he believed that that sort of threat is what brought them to the table in the first place. But at this point, it seems as though nationalism trumps, so to speak, President Trump. They will not bow to any economic carrots or sticks from the United States because of how high the nationalistic stakes are for both sides.
Okay, so no economic carrots or sticks, but given that this is one of 8 peace deals that Trump has touted since he took office, I mean, is there anything else he might do, whether it's to sweeten the deal or basically, bang heads together to make sure that they talk about a ceasefire?
I'm not confident that the president has enough stake personally in the conflict. I always have to think about this when he was there to broker the ceasefire last time and be there for the signing of the peace agreements or the ceasefire agreements. It was only because he already happened to be in town. I can't imagine President Trump has enough of an appetite to go to the region himself to actually talk down the two leaders. I would imagine it will continue to be phone calls and other channels of communication to try and convince them to go to an off-ramp. At this point, there's not much he can do unless he very much gets involved. There have been situations where the president gets personally interested in a project, and that certainly is something we can't put out of the picture, but right now I don't see it.
Japhet, China, I mean, we haven't heard much, but is it quietly playing a role somewhere? I mean, be it as peace mediator or maybe supporting a close ally in Phnom Penh?
I've been thinking about the Chinese position a lot, and there's not a lot of movement that I'm seeing externally. Now, of course, throughout mainland Southeast Asia, China has been a big broker behind ceasefires, even in disputed territories and whatnot in scam centers, for instance, or for instance, around the Myanmar borders with China. China has played a role in trying to broker behind closed doors ceasefires but they don't necessarily have the strongest reputation for keeping steady ceasefires. In Myanmar, for instance, clashes re-erupt again in just a matter of days and weeks, right? It's not necessarily known to be that strong of an arbiter. Phnom Penh could certainly call on its close ally in Beijing for extra support, but at this point, I'm not certain exactly how much leverage China can have on Thailand as well. Though it is a strong trading partner, like I mentioned earlier, I don't think economic incentive will be enough to snap the Thai government out of its focus on what it believes to be an existential crisis or a key threat to its own national well-being. I believe Prime Minister Anutin and the Thai government have focused on crippling Cambodia. They've mentioned it explicitly that they want to ensure that Cambodia can no longer create such a situation for Thailand and put Thai citizens in danger to this extent again. So until they meet those objectives, I don't imagine an economic off-ramp to help.
Okay, so Japhet, on the ground, fighting enters its second week, and what are the most realistic escalation paths from here? And how real is the risk of miscalculation, given that we're seeing a mix of heavy weapons, nationalist sentiment, as well as political messaging?
I think miscalculation is a very big issue that we need to be paying close attention to, considering that a significant amount of this conflict comes from miscalculation and miscommunication. The Thai and Cambodian sides both believe that the other sides fired first. Or for the Thai side, they believe that Cambodia was a bad faith actor and still laid fresh landmines, though Phnom Penh continues to disavow their existence. There are no landmines, according to Phnom Penh. And so I can't imagine a situation in which they find a amicable path forward, and it will lead to some more of what we're already seeing now. Border clashes, missile strikes, airstrikes on limited areas along the border region. Thailand, I think in the last week, mentioned 11 points on the border that it would hope to retake in the next couple of weeks. We're not seeing too much behavior yet pointing in that direction. And it's unclear exactly where those sites are. Hun Manet and Hun Sen have reacted to those sites, saying that Cambodia will fight as best as it can, but as of now, I would imagine it will continue to be a painful, devastating stalemate that will bring thousands, hundreds of thousands of people away from their homes, displaced into camps and other makeshift facilities to try and ride out the storm of the conflict.
Okay, Japhet, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for your insight this morning. Japhet Quitzon, Associate Fellow of Southeast Asia Program at CSIS.